sharing that. Please stay with us as we come back to you for our next discussion as well. Now, moving the focus to the UK. UK government is proposing major reforms to the criminal justice system, limiting the right to a jury trial in England and Wales. Under the plan, only cases involving rape, murder, manslaughter, or other matters of public interest will go to a jury. Lesser offences and complex financial crimes would instead be handled by new swift courts led by a judge, aiming to reduce the record backlog of more than 78,000 Crown Court cases. But this is leading to controversies. Let's listen into what the leaders have shared on this.
With this review, Sir Brian has produced a blueprint for once-in-a-generation court reform. It's desperately needed, Mr. Speaker, because this government inherited an emergency in our courts. A record of rising backlog, currently at 78,000 cases. Victims facing agonising delays, with some trials not listed for years. All the while, defendants bide their time. Sir Brian also proposes restricting defendants' right to elect for jury trials, a practice not found widely in other common law jurisdictions. And let's be honest, it's a peculiar way to run a public service. Our world-leading judges should hear the most serious cases, and I agree that they and the magistrate should decide where a case is heard. This will prevent defendants from gaming the system, choosing whichever court they think gives the best chance of success, and drawing out the process, hoping victims give up.
Why on earth does this Justice Secretary think he has a mandate to rip up centuries of jury trials without even a mention of it in his party's manifesto? In his twisted logic, he says he's scrapping juries to save them. But be in no doubt, if the Justice Secretary gets away with this, is the beginning of the end of jury trials. He's already in retreat. Let's unite to send him packing for good.
The Ministry of Justice claims the changes could cut trial times by roughly 20%. Critics, including legal experts and solicitors, argue that removing juries risks undermining fairness, community trust, and equality in the justice system. They warn that concentrating verdicts in the hands of a single judge may erode confidence, particularly in sensitive or complex cases. Historically, jury trials have been a cornerstone of English justice dating back to the Magna Carta and strengthened over centuries through landmark cases and the Bill of Rights. Similar reforms in countries like India, Singapore, and Malaysia have eliminated jury trials, citing efficiency and complexity concerns, though critics note this reduced public participation in justice. Now for this discussion, we welcome back retired Major General Dr. Rajan Kochar. He's a senior strategic and international affairs expert, joins us live from New Delhi. Thank you very much, Major General Doctor, for joining us again. Good to see you. Now, looking at this, how might limiting this right to a jury trial, how do you think this will affect public trust in UK's criminal justice system? And how do you think this will reshape public confidence as well?
So a very interesting question, because it's a catch-22 situation. You have to reduce the waiting period of the cases. If there are 78,000 pending cases, there's an old saying that justice delayed is justice denied. So in case you are going to prolong the cases to that extent, because a jury trial takes time, it is labor intensive, it is time intensive, and you have to see the availability of all the jury members. At the same time, they have to be available. Number of adjournments are there, so cases take a very long time to fructify. So I think this is a very balanced approach. I personally feel that this decision is a very far-reaching decision in order to address the problem. And why I say that is that you are taking off lesser serious cases or cases where a punishment is accepted up to 2 to 3 years, and you are ensuring that a single judge is clearing these judgments. So it is bound to reduce that backlog. Jury trials are still there because that's a time-tested system for the British, because you don't rely only on one person or two persons' judgment. It is the entire jury which decides. So I think it's a very, very fair system of trial. Why in India you can't impose this? Because India has a very large population, so you can't have a jury trial in India. But definitely in the UK, I think for the more serious cases, I think it also leads to resource efficiency, and the complex and the serious cases are tried by the jury. So I think this is a victim-centered reform. And why I actually say that is because the investment in victim and witnesses support the services which recognize that delays. And therefore, I think for the people at large, as I mentioned to you, that when you delay a justice, it is a denial of the justice. So I think that principle is being applied here in fair measure, and at the same time, you are not removing the jury system of trial, because you are keeping it for the more serious cases. So I think a public trust, as the opposition is bound to rake up this issue that public trust is going to be affected and justice is going to be affected. But I think in the long run, let it go on a trial. I think whenever a system is changing, you must allow it to be tried for at least 1 to 2 years to see the efficacy of the system. So I would suggest to the UK government that put this system on a trial or a test bed and see how it works out. In case it works out for you, then you formalize it. But in case it doesn't work out for you, then you go back to the old system. So that kind of an approach, I think, would be a more practical one.
Right. With that, I would like to thank Dr. Major General Rajan Kochhar for joining us today as a Senior Strategic and International Affairs expert from New Delhi. Thank you very much. Now, moving the focus to Middle East, Israeli police has said that they have received the presumed remains of one of the last 2 deceased hostages from Gaza and are taking them for forensic identification. Prime Minister Netanyahu's office has confirmed the remains were handed over through the Red Cross with formal notification to follow after identification. It is unclear whether the remains belong to Israeli-ran Gwili or Thai national Sudtiasak Rintalak, who were the last 2 hostages still held by Hamas after the October 7, 2023 attack. Hamas has not officially confirmed the delivery, but search operations continue in northern Gaza with the Red Cross involved. Now we stay in the region. Israel's Foreign Minister Gideon Saar